There's something we're told about forgiveness that just doesn't work. I think I know what it is. We're told that forgiveness is something you feel. When you forgive someone, you don't feel the anger anymore. You don't remember it. It's all gone. Like the wound will just be closed and it won't take anything from you when you think about it. But that's not forgiveness. That's healing, and they're different things. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what happened to you wasn't real or that what happened to me wasn't real. I'm not here to minimize it. I'm also not here to tell you that your anger is wrong or that you've been holding on to something that you should have let go of a long time ago. Something happened. Someone did something or didn't do something that's still costing you in a way. And you're still paying for that, as am I in some senses for some things. And that's real. Territory 3 is not asking you to pretend that it's not real. What it asks is something much harder and much more specific than that. A great example here is Peter. Peter was the first one to say aloud that, Jesus, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Jesus called him the rock on which he would build the church. He was the inner circle. I mean, the one that walked on water, and probably the one with the most to lose. And then we have the courtyard, the fire, 3 different questions from 3 different people, 3 denials from Peter, and then the rooster crows. And then the punchline. Jesus makes eye contact with Peter, not in anger, just looks at him. That is one of the most devastating sentences in the New Testament. Peter knew exactly what he did and exactly who was looking at him when he realized it. And then he took off. He ran off and wept bitterly. And that's the beginning of territory 3. And then in John 21, he's gone back to fishing. I mean, think about this. He didn't know what to do with himself. He had betrayed the one person of all time that you don't want to betray. They had given up everything to follow this man, and then he had betrayed him 3 times. And then Jesus appears on the shore. He makes breakfast and he asks 3 questions. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? He asks one time for each denial. And of course, Peter responds with yes. And Jesus responds with, feed my sheep. He didn't ask Peter to explain himself. He didn't require a full account from him of the betrayal. He didn't make Peter earn his way back. He reinstated him fully right in that moment. And might I add, before Peter probably felt worthy of it. That's the structure of forgiveness. It moves faster than the feeling. The restoration was there before the healing was complete. My contention is that forgiveness is not a feeling. It's a structural decision. It doesn't require you to feel at peace. It doesn't require you to reconcile yourself with the person that hurt you. It doesn't require for you to say what they did was acceptable. It just requires one thing. It requires you to decide in advance of the feeling that this wound will not be the thing that determines your ceiling. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. It's very possible to forgive someone and not reconcile with them. Forgiveness is internal. Reconciliation is relational. These are different things. Now, could they go together? Yes, they could, but they are not the same thing. Forgiveness is not forgetting. The wound is real. What happened, happened, and there's no changing that. It's not erasing the memory. What it's doing is it's changing your relationship to it. And forgiveness is not saying it's okay. It's just saying that I refuse to let that thing that happened to me determine what I become. Now, forgiveness is choosing to stop being defined by something that happened to you and being shaped by who you're becoming because of that thing. It's a transfer of authority. It's you taking authority back. And it's not because the person who did it to you deserves it. It's because you deserve it. Listen, Peter didn't forgive himself on the beach. Jesus forgave him. And with that, he reinstated who he was and who he was to become. You can't build on an unforgiving foundation. The structure just won't hold. This is the piece I talk about a lot. Your suffering is load bearing. This is precisely what I'm talking about. It is a load bearing wall. You're not able to build upon a foundation that is not sound. Horizontally, forgiveness seems like a weakness. It's like you're letting someone off the hook. You're just letting go of it. But vertically, forgiveness is the most powerful thing available. It's you reclaiming the energy that the wound was consuming and redirecting it towards something else that's positive. I know what it's like to watch something happen to someone you love that never should have happened, to sit with the unfairness of it, to have nowhere to put the anger, to just be angry at the thing that doesn't, there's just nowhere to put it. You know, Raph didn't have someone to forgive in this case, like you would think it. She found her place. She had to forgive the disease, and I had to do the same thing. She had to forgive the loss of what she had thought her life would contain to now what her life did contain in the final days. You know, the unanswered prayers, you know, God not showing up in the way you ask, all of these things, these are all internal things that require forgiveness. And those are battles that are so challenging. And she did it. I watched her do it. Not because she wasn't angry, because she decided that anger was not the thing that was going to live in the center of her. It wasn't going to define her. And that is territory 3. You know, the Fibonacci sequence, territory 3 is the first one that is the sum of two other numbers. It's not the 1 plus 1 is 2. It's the 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. The numbers aren't identical here anymore. They start to differentiate from each other. They start to carry their own weight. Territory 3 is where the crossing starts to require something new from you. It's not the same, it's something new. The descent requires you to name it. Calling out required you to say the honest thing. Forgiveness is asking for something more, to make a decision that your feelings might not be ready to support yet. This is the beautiful thing about the sequence. It demanded a 3, not because it was ready, but because the pattern supported it. This week, one practice, one decision. Name the person, the institution, the circumstance, the version of God, whatever it is, name the one thing that you need to forgive. Write it down on a piece of paper. You're not going to burn it, not as a ritual, but to be specific. It's easy to be vague about things, but being specific has real utility. And then write one sentence. I'm choosing to stop letting blank determine my ceiling. And it's not because they deserve it. It's because you do. It's because your vertical life does. And if you don't feel it when you write it, that's fine. You're doing it to aim yourself in that direction. There is a thing that happens when we write something down on paper. A clarity shows up in our lives. And it's happened to me so many times. And it is one of the most utilitarian, forward-moving principles that I've ever had, is writing things down. It's amazing what that does for your life. And I'm asking you to write this one simple thing down. Here's the crazy thing that I've seen in my own life. I've seen it happen for others. What happens on the other side of territory 3 is something you could never imagine. I talk about the illumination of life when we turn to a vertical alignment. This is where this all begins. I remember it happening in my own life. And that's why I talk so much about this today, because it is something I could not see it from the small frame that I was in. But when we crossed this place, this territory, what showed up was something completely outside of the bounds of our imagination or control. And it's marvelous. And it's not because the wound disappears. It simply is because it stops running the room. It's not in control anymore. Listen, territory 4 is the inflection point. And it's important because this directional change allows this vertical rise. And if we can't capture this forgiveness piece, it's like holding on to a really heavy piece of luggage that you just won't let go of. You just can't go vertical unless you set it down. And sometimes we don't understand that we're holding it. And this is about setting it down. Let it go. Put it down. It's like freeing an anchor. It makes the whole thing possible. Next week is territory 4. It's the inflection point. We're going to talk about Isaiah. Listen, territory 3 does not ask you to be at peace with what happens. It asks you to lay it down. Peter didn't feel worthy at the beach, yet he was reinstated anyways. And then he was able to build upon that. And you can too. You can build upon it. The door is already open. It's up to you to walk across the threshold. Guys, if these videos are hitting home, please subscribe. If you haven't taken the Significance Score quiz, this is the time. thesignificancescore.com is the place to find it. It will give you a number, which is your compass. It is where you are in this moment, and it will directionally allow you to orient yourself in the way that you want to go. Thanks again for being here. This is Such a pleasure to share with you. I look forward to talking with you next time.